This has to do with personal development. We're looking at self-concept versus self-esteem. Self-concept, and they are different, is related to your notion of self and your abilities. It's not related to values of worth. For example, I know that I could not win a marathon no matter how hard I train, even for my age group. That is my notion and concept of myself. That is an honest evaluation of my strengths and weaknesses. That's not related to worth or feelings of worth. I'm still a good person. All right? Now, our self-concept evolves throughout our life. It's not one staid thing, but it's highly fluctuates highly during adolescence. As Erickson and Marcia tell us, this is an important time, what we are capable of doing. Our self-concept is developed through our interaction with others, gives us a sense of things, and by the reaction of others, things we affirm or not. By the way, if you said good morning and everyone went, "Eh," that would affect your self-concept as well as self-esteem. Success and failures in the past. I'm good at these things. Oh, I'm not good at these things. Self-concept affects our ability to learn. I'm good at things. I've had success, therefore I'm more apt to try new things. I know my strengths and weaknesses. I'm able to use my strengths to compensate for my weaknesses. On D2L, a survey. Rate yourself 1 to 5 in each of the following domains of competency. Most adults can do this. However, this changes throughout your life. On D2L, results are completely anonymous. Interesting to see what you say. Self-esteem is how you feel about yourself. Affect. I am a person of worth. Self-judgment. A person's self-esteem affects school behavior, management issues. Positive self-esteem, less apt to engage in negative behaviors. Negative self-esteem, more apt to engage in negative behaviors. Self-esteem also affects the ability to learn. So dealing with self-esteem, we can say, is a research-based strategy. Ability to learn, that's not just Andy saying that. That is a body of research. So dealing with self-esteem can be said to be a research-based strategy because we know it affects learning. Things that lower students' self-esteem, of course, failure and frustration. Now, this points to the importance of helping students find success, breaking bigger things down into smaller steps. Think about if you are that student with a learning disability, you come to school and you experience failure for 6 hours a day, which is the case for some of our students with learning disabilities. Think about that self-esteem, how that affects your ability to learn, as well as your feelings of worth. Know these things. Understand our children. This is horrible. Comparison and competition when there is an overemphasis on comparison. Oh, you are at this percentile. This is who you are. 23rd percentile. Here's a number for you. Take your number and go to the back of the line. When we create winners and losers, sheep and goats, when we have academic competition, but I would say in middle school when we overemphasize athletic competition as well. Former coach and athlete, but from this vantage point now, I can see the very destructive elements of placing too much emphasis on competition, too much emphasis on I value you, I give you attention because you are a winner. Think about what that does to the self-esteem and self-concept of those people who choose not to be engaged in athletics or other things. Focus on measuring versus understanding. Assess, assess, assess. Here's your number, here's your test score, here's your rating, versus understanding strengths and weaknesses and who that person is. If children are forced always to learn in ways that are not natural to them, that's why it's important to understand developmental levels and developmentally appropriate instruction. What do children naturally want to do? And this is why I am such a strong proponent of holistic and humanistic education. We try to align what is learned and how students learn it with their natural inclination, so we don't have to manipulate or force learning. If students are always forced to learn things that have no value, interest, or relevancy to their lives, that their feelings of worth, you must learn this, you need it someday. Well, I'm not interested in it, but you must learn it anyway. You must, you must, you must. Lack of human interaction. You're not to value, your thoughts are not important. You sit there and you remember this and regurgitate. And of course, negative human interaction. And this is why the teacher is so important. Unconditional positive regard. And if you see teasing or some negative interactions occurring on the playground, that is where you enter a teaching mode, helping children understand. Things that can help, might help. Cooperative learning activities and collaborative projects. By the way, understand what cooperative learning is before you come to judgment on that. It is a valuable tool to enhance learning, not measurement. Baby steps. Break these bigger things down into smaller steps so children can find success. We want to help them learn. We want to develop their full capacity. What are you good at? What not? Choices, just like adults. Children should be given some choices, not choices all the time, but what to learn, how to learn it, how to demonstrate learning, and when they want to do it. Not total choice all the time, but some choices. Teachers who listen and understand. I regard you unconditionally. Unconditional positive regard. Maybe not your behaviors, but you as a human being. You must teach social and interpersonal skills. We cannot assume all students know this, especially students with emotional behavioral disorders. If you don't know these skills, other people, students, are going to react to you in a negative manner. Multiple intelligence theory, we'll be looking at that in a later video, but it's okay to be smart in some things and not in other. We all have different ways of being smart. That is important. All right, short overview, self-concept versus self-esteem, personal development.